What's going on, guys? Today's going to be a video of a little bit different caliber. The reason I do things like this is because I don't want to bring you guys the same material every time. I want you to be mystified. I want to bring you surprises. I like having mystery. I like having you captured. I like having you wondering what I'm going to do next. And the reason why is because I want you to keep coming back. But if you're new to the channel, please take a look at this graph. This graph shows that 20% of the people that watch my videos are subscribed to the channel. And 80% that stop by and check out a video or two or here or there, they never subscribe to the channel. Guys, come on, subscribe to the channel, please. That will help out the channel. It'll help it grow. It'll help it grow faster. And liking the video also does the same thing, but it gives YouTube the message that I like this channel, I like what they had to present, and I want to see more. So please like the video. I'd like to see this video get 100 likes. I don't think that's too much to ask. But anyway, if you don't know who I am, you've never been here before, my name is Brian. Welcome to this episode of So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, as you saw on the thumbnail, we're going to be taking a walk on the dark side. No, I'm not talking about the force. I'm talking about trimmer line, the dark and the light of trimmer line. Now, I've been in business for 25 years. I have tried a multitude of trimmer lines. Some I liked, some I didn't like, some I couldn't stand. Some I absolutely hated, and some I liked a lot. Well, the goal of trimmer line, especially when you do lawn care for as a business, the goal of trimmer line is to get the job done with the least amount of breakage and time invested as possible. What do I mean by that? Well, you don't want to spend a gobsmack amount of money on trimmer line, but you want to get a good enough trimmer line where you're not going to have to constantly be respooling the line because the line broke off, and you don't want to have lines so tough and so brittle that you hit a piece of chain link fence and it snaps off because it's too brittle. Well, that's kind of what I'm going to be showing you today. I have been using, and understand, have been past tense, I have been using the Oregon .105, the Oregon Gator line is the square line, and I hate that line. I just did a video where I was edging around a sidewalk, and I put the little note in the bottom that I hated that line. I absolutely hate it, and here it is right here. This is it. Now the label has gotten rubbed off, but you know what? I forgot to get my cutters. Just a second, guys. All right, I got my cutters here. Now, this is the .105 diameter. I don't know why they call it diameter because this crap is square. But I'm going to cut a piece off of it, and I'm going to bring it to the camera, and I'm going to give you a close-up look at it. Before I go any further, though, there's somebody else that hates this line even more than I do. And I'm trying to find something good to say about this. Now, I will say this. This is one good thing about it. When you're weed eating regular grass, this line has sharp edges on it. And you'll see it when I put it up next to the camera. This line is square and it has sharp edges. And it's got a steel reinforced wire in the middle. Or it's a steel wire. It's reinforced with steel wire. When you're doing regular weed eating, you're weeding around wood, or you're just weeding around a tree or something like that, this line cuts phenomenal. But when you're doing flip edging, and I'll put a clip of that, what I was talking about just a second ago, where I was flip edging, I'll put a video clip of that right here.
Like a fresh slap back and floated back, turning that cut back, crackle out of.
Now, you saw me flip edging. Well, what you didn't see, because the line is spinning so fast, I had this line, I had that much out on each side, and you could watch as I had to drop the head down because the concrete was absolutely destroying this line. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to see if I can get in the shot here. There we go. You see that line? It's square. And it's got that steel reinforced. See, the camera won't focus on it. But you can see, let me get it a little bit away. You can see the black mark that's in it, the black line, that is the steel cable that's inside of it. Guys, I can't tell you how easy it was to break this line. Now, it is square, and it is very efficient at cutting grass or weeds when you're just weed eating around bushes or around a naturally edged flower bed. But when it comes to flip edging, it ain't worth a happy. Now, I'm just going to be honest. It ain't worth a plug nickel. Now, there's somebody else that did not like this line. Come here. That did not like this line. He despised this line as much as I did. He's trying to get his cell phone in his pocket. Did you like this line, Nate? It was a constant battle, guys. I can't tell you. Now, I use Oregon speed feed heads on my weed eaters, on my string trimmers, however you want to say it. What?
1 second. Was the metal in this line that supposedly reinforced it the same metal they used to build the errands?
I don't know. I doubt it, but anyway.
Because it's just about as rickety.
But I can't tell you, and my son is standing here. I am not going to knowingly lie to you or him in front of him. I'm not that kind of parent. But
when you're done, can I throw this in the woods?
No, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to...
Why?
I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. Anyway...
It would be worth a shot soaking it again overnight, see if it by any
Well,
chance
you're stealing my thunder, son.
Just I'll go back inside and listen to Oppenheimer.
But what he made a reference to was, I've been in business for 25 years. Yeah, it's hot out here. Oh Lord, I gotta hurry up. It's starting to thunder. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but I've been in business for 25 years. I have never, ever, ever soaked weed eater line in water prior to use. But I did this. I soaked this for 2 days. I submerged it in a 5-gallon bucket of water. It was about that deep under the water. And I let it soak for 2 solid days. Not only that, it is on a trimmer line rack on my trailer. So when it rains, it gets wet again. So it's constantly being submerged, so to speak, in moisture, in water. And I don't know if that's what made it brittle, or you know, the wet, dry, and it became brittle. I don't know. But guys, this line, I looked on Amazon where I bought it from. This line, I've had this line literally for 2 months. It's not that old. Now, I don't know how long ago it was manufactured. I have no clue about that. But from the time of purchase until actually last night was 2 months ago. It was just shy of 2 months. Guys, lines should not get that brittle. And we used we filled 2 weed eaters, a stihl FS131R and a stihl FS91R. Both of them have Oregon speed feed heads, And I'm telling you all this to let you know that there's no difference. The only difference is the size of the trimmers it's on. One is an FS91R and one is a 131R. But the majority of the flip edging we do is with the 91R. The reason why is because the 131R has so much more torque and power that it will destroy an edge. If you're moving along and all of a sudden you catch something, the head will turn, the trimmer will literally turn in your hand and it will destroy an edge. The 91R is much easier to control. Well, in the video clip you saw, I was using the 131R, and the reason why, and it's my bad, I'll be the first one to admit it. We were on a job, and I forgot to stop and get 2-cycle gas. That was on me. So rather than put what little bit of gas we had in another weed eater, I just used the one we already had gassed up. I mean, that's just the honest, that's the long and short of it. That's the short and tall of it. That's the honest, that's the honest, as honest as I can be. Now, this is off the trailer and it's not going back on. So what did I buy? Well, again, like I said, I've used many different weed eater lines. I have never used Echo Black Diamond line. The reason why is because I'm cheap. This stuff's expensive. And I have used this line before, and I really, really liked it. Now, I will give a disclaimer right here. I like the red Copperhead line the best. It's the .105, and it's red. I like that line most of all, but that line is hard to find, and not many dealers around here carry it. So I went to Amazon and looked, and yes, they had it, but a 5-pound spool of that line is, I think it's over $100. I'll have to look and see, and I'll put the actual price right here. But the last time I looked, a 5-pound spool of it was close to $100, and you couldn't get it for 2 to 3 weeks. Well, when you're in the business I'm in, you got to have trimmer line. So what did I buy? Well, I went back to a tried and true, tested and approved weed eater line, and this is what I bought. I bought it is the Copperhead. It's made by Rotary. Copperhead Vortex Professional Trimmer Line, and it's .105 diameter. And that's what I bought. I've used this line before. Does it last as long as the red line? No, it does not. But for the price I paid for it, online, this line here is $90. I got it at the local X-Smart dealership, probably 10 miles away. I got this for $70, and it's a 5-pound spool. This line right here, this spool of line right here, will last me until this time next season. And what I do with my trimmer line, when I'm done with it for the season, I know there's no more trimming I've got to do. I take this off the trailer and I store it in the shop over there. I store it there, and when I'm ready for it the next year, I take it out and I put it back on the trailer. Now, am I going to soak this in water? Absolutely not. I don't see any reason, after having soaked this and not being able to tell one bit of difference, I don't see any reason to soak this line. The last spool I bought was a spool this size. I did not soak it, and in all honesty, now guys, I've said this before on my videos, I will not come to you and bring you a product and tell you something that I know is not true. That is, my integrity will not allow me to do that. And two, if my daddy was alive, he would, as the old people used to say, he'd skin me alive, and I'm 58 years old, almost 58 years old. I'm not going to do that, because if you guys go and buy this line on my recommendation and then you're dissatisfied with it, the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna leave me an ugly comment. You told me that line was good, and I bought it and it was crap. You're gonna unsubscribe from my channel, and you're gonna tell all your friends that maybe subscribe to unsubscribe too. I'm not gonna do that. I will tell you this. Did I like this line? No. I love this line. Now, I liked the red line better, but it was not available. So I bought what I needed right now. The reason why I replaced this line, today is Sunday. I do a lot of my filming on Sunday when I'm not on the job. The reason why I'm doing this today, I replaced this line Friday. I bought this line Friday. The reason why is because we were on a commercial job Friday. The 91R, we had to restring it once. And it was about half full when we started that day. The 131R, as God is my witness, it was about 3/4 the way full. Edging the concrete curbs, I went through that whole 3/4 spool, and I had to restring this with this line, restring that trimmer with that line twice in one day because it kept breaking. And when I say breaking, guys, I don't mean that it broke and it was this far sticking out. It broke. Just imagine this is the edge of the speed feed head. It broke off flush. Now, if you're not familiar with the speed feed head, you have to take the cap off, you have to take the spool off, unwind it, pull it out, put the speed feed head back together, line up the hole, and then put the line through it, pull it through, level it up, and then re-spool it. I had to do that 3 times in one day because this line would not quit breaking. Now, do I recommend this line? If you're only string trimming once a week, once every 2 weeks, and you're weed eating around your own property, yes, this line would be fine. But for professional use, when you're string trimming 2 to 5 miles in one day, you need to get something like this. Now, am I recommending this line? Sure, I'll recommend it because I've used this line before. And that spool held up for, well, this spool right here, like I said, 2 months old, 2¼ months old, it was filled all the way out to the top. I've used that much line in 2½ months. 2 months. Not 2½, 2 months. I've used 3/4 of the spool because the center of the spool is right here. That's the center of it right there. That's the center barrel. So you can see right there, well, it's just a little bit below. So yeah, the center of it's about right there. I said that wrong. It's about right there. Well, here we go, right here. Duh. There's the center barrel right there. Now, if I measure out right there, it's almost to the center. It lacks about an 1/8 of an inch being to the very center, which means I was almost out of line to begin with. So, the reason I bought this line is because I've used it before. I know it's good line, and it doesn't break. And before I go any further, I'm going to take, if I can find the end of it, it should be where that, yeah, right here it is. I'm not going to cut a whole big piece off. I'm just going to cut the very end of it off. Right there. And guys, this line is really actually oval shaped. Let's see, there it is right there. And you can see it's oval shaped. It's not actually round. But the fibers of it are twisted. And that's why they say it's the vortex line. It's like it twists. But anyway, I wanted to bring this to you to give you, number one, a comparison to what I've been using versus what I'm going to and why. I'll be honest, the only thing I like that I've used thus far from Oregon is their speed feed heads. Now their speed feed heads are top notch. And I did a video a few years ago, the comparison between the Echo Speed Feed 400 and the stihl Speed Feed. I believe it's the 26-C or something like that. And I like the stihl more than I did the Echo. And the reason why, and I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for this video I'm fixing to tell you. If you guys that are do-it-yourselfers, fixing your own equipment, you need reference points from time to time, you need to check out Chicanic. I watch a lot of her videos. I've learned a lot from watching her videos. And a lot of the stuff you see me do on my channel, it's not that I didn't know how to do it, but I went to get a different perspective on her channel. Anyway, she brought out a video here a while back for the new Echo Speed Feed 450 and 500 and 550, I think. They were melting. They were actually, the center of the thing was melting. It was getting so hot. Well, I had the same exact problem with the 400. That rascal would get so hot that the line would literally melt and stick to itself like that, and it wouldn't eject the line. And then I'd have to take it apart, and I'd have to take a pair of pliers and pull it to break it loose from itself. So a buddy of mine, Lauren, told me about the Oregon. That's what he had been using. So I bought one. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I put it on my FS91R, and I have not looked back. The Oregon Speed Feed head, in my opinion, from having used them on a daily basis for the last 5 years, in my opinion, based on use, they're the best speed feed head on the market. Now that is Brian with Big South Outdoors TV telling you the Oregon Speed Feed head is bar none the best speed feed head on the market. Even better than Echo. Anything Echo's got. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up right there, guys. If you haven't as of yet, please be sure and click the like button and the subscribe button. And also, just a side note, if you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you comment and like the videos, because if you don't, YouTube will unsubscribe you from the channel and you won't even know it. It's the AI bots that are doing it. And what they do, they unsubscribe you if you don't like the video, or you don't comment on the video. They take the subscription away until they confirm you're a real person. And a lot of times I never get the subscription back. So anyway, that's just a little side note. This is Brian with Big South Outdoors TV, reminding you to live big, live southern, and live outdoors. Until we meet again, folks, have a good one.